Well, after the first video, I've been working on this tool, so now it's pretty good. If you would like to try it, you can go to my homepage, which is this address, and you come to this side here, and you select simulations, and go down at the bottom, somewhere here, and you can just download it here. Okay. Well, I was just first I would like to show you the tool, and afterwards I will go through an example with backpropagation and explain it in detail without too much math. Backpropagation is pretty tricky. Okay, so what can you do with the tool here? You have the menu here. So the first thing you can do is select setup. And here you can see this is the network itself, and this is learning data. You can actually go in and write your own stuff here. Simply define everything here. And the same with learning data. I have some examples here, like this one. There's lots of data here, and there's further data included here in a sheet. So you can see this is just a simple random network where if we run this, you can see that the weights are just random. You see, the default weights are random selected. And then but the input data, but the learning data is of course taken from here. So we can just try and run it for a while. You see. So yes, and afterward, when you are satisfied with the training, you can actually export. I'll put this behind there somewhere. Well, you can actually export the weights. So these are the weights and of all the networks. You just copy this and save it and insert it later. And you just refresh it, and it's got the real weights here. Okay. You can also select how many digits you want to see. Okay. See? Now it's. I normally I don't want to see everything, so 3 is fine, I think. Start. You have the two activation function, Sigmoid and the 10H. I don't know how to say it. There is a learning rate, you can change, and the momentum. And there are two types of weight adjustments. I'm gonna go into that later. This is the more complex one, and this is the simpler. You can say when the learning has to stop here. The tempo is here. So how, for example, if you say 1 second here, you can see the learning is pretty slow. 1 second per step. Yeah. Just speed it up. That's very fast. Okay, and the size. You can set the size of the here. Let's say 150, and you have to load it again. You see, so there's more space. The size you can set the height and the neurons itself also, of course, like that. See? Okay, and the position of the graph. I'm gonna go into that. And the export, and there is something who I am, and the tool is started up from this article here. Okay. And okay, so let's just set it up again here. So I will now refresh here. See? And you can some interesting thing here. The most important is show calculation. Okay, this one can actually show you everything that's going on here. At this step, forward, all the calculation is visible here, and I have also included the formula we are using. I'm gonna go through this in more detail later. Let's take calculate the gradient. You can see there, and adjust the weight, and this there. You see everything. Okay. When you're learning, you can see the learning graph. See, you can see how much is. So if it comes all the way up to the top, it's finished learning. You can of course set this value here. Stop where to stop. Okay. Okay. This is just showing the connection. There's back. There's not interesting. You can change it, and you can select not to see the drawing. It goes a little bit faster then. Okay. Now you see the drawing, and now you don't see the drawing. Okay. The function is very interesting. You can see here, if I select this function, I can see the sigmoid function to this node here. I'm gonna go into that later also. And if you run it, you can actually see everyone. You see? Let's refresh it. You can see the value is changing here. Okay. And you can also select it and change the input weights, or anyway, not input, it's output weights of the neuron here. So if I say insert 2, you see, now it's 2. You can go in and change everything and just forward propagate again. So this means you can change this manually. Okay, so this was I think everything that this tool can do. So now after I will go in detail show you the back propagation, which is pretty tricky.